One late autumn evening, after the Senate had adjourned and Washington's heavy air felt unusually still, Senator John Kennedy sat in his office longer than usual. His staff had gone home, the corridors echoed with emptiness, and he noticed something that tugged at his curiosity. His maid, a quiet woman named Rosa who had worked for him for nearly 3 years, left each evening with an old canvas bag clutched tightly to her chest. She always refused rides, no matter the weather, and disappeared into the dark city streets. For a man like Kennedy, whose instincts had been sharpened by years in politics and whose curiosity often got the better of him, there was something about Rosa's guarded life that felt like a story untold. That night, for reasons he couldn't quite explain, Kennedy decided to follow her. He left his car a few blocks back and trailed her carefully through the maze of Washington neighborhoods. Rosa walked briskly, her shoulders hunched against the cold, until she reached a dimly lit corner of the city most senators never thought about. The streets here weren't lined with polished cars or neat brick houses, they were worn, broken, and forgotten. She entered a crumbling apartment building with peeling paint, and Kennedy paused at the doorway, unsure what he was doing. A senator tailing his maid? It felt absurd. But something inside urged him on. Inside, Kennedy found himself standing at the edge of a world he had rarely seen. The hallway smelled of dampness, the floor creaked with every step, and muffled voices echoed from behind thin walls. He watched as Rosa unlocked her door and slipped inside. Through the crack before it shut, he caught a glimpse of 2 small children rushing to hug her. They were barefoot, their clothes tattered, their joy unrestrained despite the poverty around them. Kennedy stood frozen. The maid who silently dusted his shelves, who pressed his suits, who always smiled faintly but never spoke much, she was not returning to comfort or security but to a hidden struggle. He knocked gently, and Rosa, startled, opened the door. Her eyes widened in shock when she saw her employer standing there, but there was no anger, just embarrassment. "Senator, what are you doing here?" she whispered, clutching her children close. Kennedy hesitated before answering. "I think the better question is, what are you doing here, Rosa? You've been carrying the weight of a life I never even knew." Rosa tried to explain, her voice trembling. Her husband had died years earlier, and she had been raising her children alone. Every dollar she earned in his house went to rent, food, and schooling. She lived modestly, choosing to endure long hours of work and the burden of silence rather than beg for pity. She was proud, and pride kept her from ever sharing her struggles. Kennedy listened, his heart heavy. Here he was, a senator from a wealthy family, surrounded by privilege, yet blind to the battles fought in the shadows by those who worked.